Like the food, it's so good.
Good morning, Mom and Dad. I think I'm sick.
Then you should go see a doctor. I know a clinic nearby.
No, we don't have to. Doctors won't help. It's better to go to traditional healer or shaman. I know one.
Are you seriously talking about this again? That's nonsense.
It's not nonsense. But it helps people. Doctors only give us the chemicals and they just want our money.
Enough. We're seeing a doctor. End of discussion.
Good evening. So I have examined your son, and I know that he has severe bacterial pneumonia. If we don't start treatment immediately, his condition can be worse. We need these antibiotics, rest, and also other medical supervision. So if we start treatment immediately, he has a high chance to recover.
We understand. We'll do everything you tell us to do.
Wait, why should you trust him? These pills are full of chemicals. Do you want to poison my son?
No, of course.
Why don't you believe him? He's a qualified doctor. He's about our child's life. Come to work. Don't forget to take your pills.
What are you doing? I'm not gonna take these pills anymore. You know what? I just want you to feel better. Let's go with me to the healer and don't tell him about it. I know your name. I know why you're here. Can you help my son? Come closer. I feel bad energy.
What's wrong with
There's
you?
nothing wrong about
You
it.
killed our
I
son.
didn't kill him.
He's dying.
He's not dying.
I told you
He's
not to go to the
He's
shaman.
okay.
You did behind my back.
No, listen to me. He is okay. If you will not
I'm
bring
done
him to
with
the doctor,
this.
he will be okay. It's all your fault, not mine.
Listen, we went to the shaman, it didn't work. If you won't listen to me, listen to the sheikh.
Actually, ma'am, you have to listen to your husband because in Islam, seeking to medical treatment is not against the faith at all. Because we believe that Allah created the diseases and also He created the cure. So the doctors nowadays has to work with both the faith and the knowledge and the medical treatment that they will give you to your son. So you really have to listen to him because your words has make no sense.
But he's okay right now. I'm gonna prove you. Son. Wake up. Wake up. Son, wake up.
What's wrong?
I don't know, he's not waking up.
Is he okay?
It's okay, he's okay. He just needs to rest.
Son? Are you okay? He has no pulse.
Wow! No,
He's not breathing.
He's okay. He's okay. he's okay.
He's dead.
He's okay.
He's dead.
No, he's okay.
He's dead.
No.
He's dead.
No.
Traditional healing practices such as shamanism and spiritual-based ritual have existed for thousands of years and are deeply connected to culture and belief. These practices often help people feel comforted, supported, and connected to their community, especially when modern medical care is limited or unavailable. For many societies, they provide meaning and emotional relief during times of illness or fear. However, when we look at these practices critically, they are based mainly on belief rather than evidence. Claims about spirits, curses, or supernatural forces cannot be tested or proven. Unlike science, which relies on experiments, observation, and verification, traditional healing depends largely on personal stories, intuition, and faith. When people feel better, it may be due to hope, suggestion, or psychological effects rather than actual supernatural healing. The fact that healing practices differ widely across culture also suggests that they are not based on one universal spiritual truth. Instead, they reflect local tradition, history, and social beliefs. This supports the idea that these practices are culturally constructed rather than universally true. While cultural traditions deserve respect, they should not replace effective medical care or justify harm, exploitation, or misinformation in matters of health. Protecting human life, dignity, and well-being must come first.
Traditional healing practices mostly support the idea of moral relativism, but they also show that some moral rules are shared by many cultures. Moral relativism means that ideas about right and wrong depends on culture and beliefs. Traditional healing fits this idea well because different societies understand healing in very different ways. In some cultures, such as indigenous or African communities, visiting a shaman or a spiritual healer is normal and morally accepted. In many Western societies, the same practice may be seen as superstition. Some cultures believe that spirits or ancestors affect health, so using spiritual healing is seen as the right thing to do. People also trust the traditions they grew up with, which makes traditional healing morally acceptable in their communities. At the same time, there are clear moral limits shared across cultures. Most societies agree that healing should reduce suffering and not cause harm. Practices that deceive, exploit, or hurt people are usually considered wrong everywhere. Many religions also set ethical boundaries and reject harmful healing methods. In conclusion, traditional healing shows that moral values differ between cultures, but it also reveals universal principles such as protecting life and avoiding harm.
Traditional healing is understood differently in Islam, Christianity, Buddhism, and Hinduism because each religion conducts health, morality, and spirituality in its own way. Across history, traditional healing has existed in every culture as a bridge between spiritual belief and medical care. Today, this practice continues alongside modern medical, often creating ethical and doctrinal debates. From an Islamic perspective, seeking treatment is encouraged as long as it does not involve superstition or shirk. Practices like ruqya are acceptable when they rely on faith in God. Christianity also supports healing through prayer and medical care, but strictly rejects practice that replace trust in God with superstition. In Buddhism, illness is seen as a part of human suffering, and healing should reduce harm and promote compassion and mindfulness. Hinduism strongly supports Ayurveda, viewing healing as restoring balance between body, mind, and spirit. Using ethical frameworks such as Utilitarianism, deontology, virtue ethics, and moral relativism helps us understand how faith, culture, and morality shape attitude toward traditional healings in different religions.
From the perspective of virtue ethics, the morality of traditional healing does not depend mainly on rules or results, but on the character and intentions of the healer and the community. Virtue ethics focuses on qualities such as compassion, honesty, wisdom, and responsibility. When we apply this idea to traditional healing, the key question becomes, does the healer truly care about the patient? Are they honest? And do they understand the limits of their abilities? A morally good healer would not deceive people, would not exploit vulnerable patients, and would recommend modern medical treatment when necessary. Acting for the good of the community is what makes the healer morally virtuous. Virtue ethics stands between moral relativism and universal morality. While different cultures express virtues in different ways, core virtues such as caring for others, avoiding harm, and integrity are shared across cultures. This shows that morality is shaped by culture, but not completely determined by it. Many religions reflect this idea. Buddhism and Hinduism emphasize compassion and non-harm, which explains their openness to spiritual healing. Islam and Christianity focus more on moral purity and obedience to God, which can lead to rejecting practices seen as misleading or harmful. In conclusion, virtue ethics suggests that traditional healing is morally acceptable when it promotes good character and human well-being, but becomes morally wrong when it involves harm, dishonesty, or exploitation.
From the ontological perspective, traditional healing practices are judged not by their outcomes, but by whatever they respect moral duties and human rights. The ontology emphasized principles such as human dignity, autonomy, and information consent. Under this framework, traditional healing becomes ethically unacceptable when it involves deception, corruption, or the exploitation of vulnerable individuals, especially when truthful medical information is deliberately withheld. Even if a practice offers comfort or hope, it cannot be morally justified if it violates a person's right to make a free and informed decision about their own health. However, the ontology does not automatically reject all traditional healing. Practices that are transparent about their nature, chosen voluntarily, and do not exploit or mislead individuals may be considered morally permissible, even if their spiritual claim cannot be scientifically verified. Ultimately, the ontological ethics highlights moral boundaries that apply across cultures, reinforcing the idea that respect for human dignity and autonomy must never sacrifice for tradition or belief.
When viewed through utilitarianism, the morality of consulting shamans, traditional healers, or spiritual doctors depends on entirely outcomes. According to Jeremy Bentham and John Stuart Mill, an action is morally right if it produces the greatest overall happiness and reduces suffering for the greatest number of people. Unlike relativism, which evaluates practices within cultural boundaries, utilitarianism applies a universal standard by weighting pleasure against pain. From this perspective, traditional healing can be morally acceptable when it provides emotional comfort, reduces anxiety, or strengthens community bonds without causing harm. In communities with limited access to modern healthcare, ritual healing may offer hope and psychological relief. Even these benefits are not scientifically spiritual. Effects such as emotional reassurance or placebo response still count as positive outcomes under utilitarian logic. However, utilitarianism strongly condemns traditional healing when it causes avoidable suffering. If spiritual practices discourage effective medical treatment and lead to worsening illness or death, the overall harm outweighs any cultural or emotional benefit. Similarly, when healers misuse authority or spread misinformation, causing exploitation or false hope, their practice becomes morally unjustifiable. In short, utilitarian ethics supports cultural practices only when they genuinely increase well-being and never replace life-saving medical care.
The ethics of care evaluates traditional healing by focusing on relationships, emotional well-being, and responsibility toward others, rather than strict rules or calculated outcomes. From this perspective, traditional healing can hold moral value when it responds to human vulnerability, offers emotional support, or strengthens connections within families and communities. Ritual healing or ancestral ceremonies often provide comfort, assurance, and a sense of belonging, especially during times of illness or crisis. However, ethics of care also draws clear emotional boundaries. Genuine care must never involve neglect, harm, or the replacement of the necessary medical treatment. When doing so, puts individuals at risk. A practice cannot truly be considered caring if it ignores the patient's safety or real needs. Therefore, while ethics of care recognize the emotional and relational importance of traditional healing, it also demands attentiveness, responsibility, and the protection of the vulnerable individuals.
In conclusion, while traditional healing is often defended as cultural or spiritual practice, this study shows that it raises serious ethical and moral concerns. These practices are largely based on belief, tradition, and psychological influence rather than verified knowledge or evidence. When healing relies on superstition, spirit explanation, or unstable claims, it risks misleading people, especially those who are vulnerable, sick, or afraid. More importantly, traditional healing can cause real harm by delaying proper medical treatment, promoting misinformation, and give unchecked authority to healers who cannot be held accountable. Cultural acceptance does not make a practice morally right, particularly when human health, autonomy, and dignity are at stake. Therefore, traditional healing should not be treated as a valid alternative to modern medicine. While culture deserves respect, it must never override ethical responsibility, scientific reasoning, and the fundamental duty to protect human life.